Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real for a second. The majority of people that stop drinking alcohol are sadly going to fail. And I don't want that to be you. I know that there are thousands of people out there that try to stop drinking every single day, and 90% of them probably aren't going to succeed. And I'm not saying that to knock you off your path or discourage you in any way, right? You can be part of that 10% that succeed. Or I don't know the exact statistic, right? So please don't quote me. But you get the point, right? A lot of people that stop drinking alcohol fail. I have been one of those people. I have tried to stop drinking so many times. But there were really two things that happened to me that would always cause me to relapse. And if you don't listen to this video, the chances are that it will happen to you as well. Because that's just the odds that we are working with. Most people will fail to stop drinking. But if you're on this channel, then listen, you're part of a different breed. You are part of a minority of people that are educating themselves. You are building a paradigm where you see alcohol as ethanol, right? You see it as something that does nothing for you. You are part of a rare breed of people. So I think you guys will absolutely love this video. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I actually failed to understand before I started my journey of not drinking alcohol is that bad things will happen whether you drink or not. And listen, I'm not trying to fill you with fear. I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. Bad things happen in life. And the thing is when we stop drinking alcohol, the first kind of few months can feel like a bit of a honeymoon period, right? Where it's like you've got this newfound power, this newfound clarity, you're feeling really awesome. And then you realize that, hang on, I still have to deal with life, right? There's still problems at work. There's still people that annoy me. There's still bad emotions that I've got to deal with and face. And sometimes when we kind of go through this honeymoon period, it's like we think that we're never going to face another problem in our life. And then a couple of months into our journey, something bad happens. You know, a family member gets poorly. We lose a major client at work. We lose our job. Right? We make a bad investment. Our kids are playing up. We can get to a point where something bad happens in our life, regardless of whether we drink or not. Now, in the past, I was never prepared for that. Whenever something bad happened, if I had stopped drinking alcohol, that was my excuse to just let rip, right? Let's say, I had a really bad day at work. I was dealing with somebody difficult. Guess what? I can now pour a drink. Because I was never prepared to deal with the bad days, right? I always thought that things were going to go smooth and perfect. And I want to warn you that bad things can happen whether you drink or not. But what is important is how you are mentally prepared to deal with these bad things that happen in your life. Because you have to remember that, let's say that something bad happens in your life and you decide to pour a drink. You decide to have a drink because of some stressful situation. What do you think happens after you finish the drink? Does the stressful situation suddenly disappear? Of course not, right? We still have to deal with the situation. But the thing is, when you're not drinking, you are just so much better equipped to deal with these situations. Might you feel stressed? Might you feel anxious? Might you feel annoyed? Sure, but guess what? That's life. And I guess this is kind of like a stoic way to view things. But if you expect some bad things to happen in your life, whether you drink alcohol or not, then having a little bit of negative expectation, I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's okay. I think positive thinking is a game changer, right? But I also think having some expectation for things to go bad at some point in your life is okay as well. Because the likelihood of it is that will happen. Like, for example, recently, my family are supposed to come out to Thailand. They're actually supposed to be here right now. And their flight got cancelled, right? I don't know if you saw on the news, but I might be publishing this video a bit later, but there was all these problems with London Heathrow. And my family's flight got cancelled, right? And it was just like, damn. Like, I've not seen these people for over 3 years. I've been in Thailand pretty much this whole time. And my family were coming out here and the flight got cancelled. And in the past, that would have been the perfect excuse just to say, oh, F it, I'm going to drink tonight. Poor me. But obviously, I didn't do that because this is life, right? Bad things will happen. But I also had an element of me that expected something like this to happen, right? I just kind of had let go of the idea of them coming here. So then when it happened, I just wasn't crazily disappointed. But that's the first thing that you've got to get your head around is that bad things will happen whether you drink or not. But guess what? Provided that you stay on that path, you're going to be so much better equipped to deal with those things. The second reason, and the second thing that's happened in my own life, is I have relapsed not because things were bad. That's one way to relapse, but the other way to relapse is when things are actually going very well in your life. I've been in a position where, I had this awesome personal training business. I was making more money than I've ever made in my life at the time. I wasn't drinking alcohol and things were in such a good place. And because they were in a good place, not a bad place, I thought that I could get things under control. I thought that I could go back to controlling my drink. And listen, we all know what happened, right? I just screwed my life up once again. I just started getting hammered. Sure, the first few weeks, the first month maybe, I can't remember, but it was okay at first, but slowly but surely, things went downhill. And that can happen to so many people. Most people relapse not because they're in a bad place, right? When we're in a bad place, we know that there are negatives to drinking, so we can kind of persevere. But when we're in a good place, right? When our health is back, when our bodies look better, when our energy's better, when our work's going well, our relationships are fixed, that's when we can start saying, oh, hang on, I could just control it now. I could have one or two here and there. We all know what happens, right? We all know where those one or two drinks lead. And just recognize that if you're in a good place right now because you've not been drinking alcohol, what's the common dominant? Why would you want to let go of that? Why would you want to throw it all away? Just for a moment, a slither of relief. Because there is no benefit to putting that stuff in your body, right? None whatsoever. And provided that your mindset is strong to deal with both of these scenarios, it's just going to make your journey and your chances of success so much higher.